Good morning, 11:11. Today's the portal. Some say for twin flames, but I think it's one of the portals of the year. So maybe it's more celebratory than others because of the idea of the Four of Wands. But either way, we're going to read for everyone here today. There'll maybe be one broader message, maybe a multitude of messages for you guys. Let's see. I'm actually going to start with tarot. This is only major arcanas. Let's see what's the most predominant energy of today. Three cards. I don't read those, I only read these upright. So the Hangman, the Priestess, the High Priestess, and the Star. So the collective here, what's being shown for today is having to wait, having to keep silent, and having to keep hoping for something that is distant from you, something that you wish for greatly, something for which you have an inner knowing, and for which you are presently changing your perspective about. It's a very interesting energy of hanging. It's funny that you have hanging and hoping, which are two words that start with the letter H. H is like, it's like 11:11. And in the middle, it's the Priestess, and it's number 2, which is basically the two sides of the H, of the letter H, and which also looks like the 11, numeric 11, even if it's a 2 ultimately. 2 being the twin flames. This is really amazing the way it came out. I love it. I'm going to move to an oracle. For this, I probably will read a few sentences out of the booklet. Ideally, only one card for this. Do you think I should take this one? I'm actually going to wait. I would rather the card come out. Which is this energy that was drawn earlier, just now. Maybe having to choose to wait longer for the thing to appear to you. 2 cards, and one of them is cave. I almost said 2 caves. So the word cave here, don't know if you can see. And the word fiber. So the fiber of life, the fabric of the universe as well. Very interesting. One is circular, the other one is lines. Let's look quickly. If I can find them. going to be at the end. Of course. Okay, found fiber. Oh gosh, hold on guys, sorry. You're going to tell me, look at the... Where's cave? 49. Okay. The messages for cave are: a period of adjustment is necessary when entering the cave or leaving it. We must give our eyes and minds time to adjust to the brightness of light and the shadow of darkness in order to see our way. Withdrawing from the world from time to time can be a much needed and necessary course of action. The cave is the perfect place in which to hibernate for a bit, lick our wounds, and seek shelter from the storm. Face your fears by exercising patience and understanding with yourself. You don't need to move any faster than necessary to find your way. It might seem like an eternity in the dark, but this is simply an opportunity to speak with the darkness itself. Right off the bat, I want to say that the cave energy is all the waiting energy, right? Waiting in silence as well. Whereas the fiber with the lines here feels like the connection to the divine that we see on the star card, because you're connecting the earth to the sky. Like shoots of energy. But let's read the messages on the fiber. Recognize the threads that connect you to the people around you. The threads, that's the word I should have used. Together you create a pattern that is evidence of a sacred bond. The name of the game here is patience and fortitude. If you rush or make haste, you'll be greatly disappointed by the outcome. We tend to think of fate as something we are subject to, but we have a say over how we weave our patterns, so take control of your own thread. Really interesting. I'm gonna draw a card here. I want to explore the depths of the High Priestess, like the portion that is hidden in secrets or in the darkness of the cave. Although I believe that the change of perspective was maybe hiding in a cave, like choosing to remove yourself temporarily while you wait. But then this darkness is serving the work that the priestess does by dwelling deep inside. I want to say within other realms, right? Other realms of knowledge that are occult, occulted. That's too many, but there's 3. Goodness, I'm gonna take them. I wanted only 1, but let's see what came out. Self-discovery, which is the change of perspective. Creativity, which I believe, which I feel like I should be putting here in the middle, under the priestess. And wholeness, which is an amazing thing because I believe that the star card points to the cosmos. So being all inclusive of everything and everyone and every being and every, in every timeline, in every parallels, whatever. So the wholeness, the totality of the universe. I really enjoy the progression in terms of your personality. You're discovering, rediscovering yourself. You touch upon your creativity. You use it. And then you, by doing that, you connect the dark and the light within you, and you become whole, which we can see here, the dark and the light. It's a very strong message. It's really beautiful. Let's see here. Excuse me. Out of the Creativity Oracle. Sorry, guys. A little bit like, what is the advice? I'm going to make more room on the table quickly. What is this creatrix energy? Interesting that this is the card that flew out here on the left. And then like another one just decided to join the party. But the one that turned that came after is fear. And we have communication here. So the clarity, interactivity, and timing of communications, is critical. Along with fear, if you want to be free of fears and phobias, then you have to understand why they exist and make peace with them. When you say that this is the dark here and the light in you, but to be very clear as well here, you have a fear of communication or communicating something. Maybe you have a fear of sharing yourself. Hence why of this, all of this energy that is sort of pending, the fact that you're relatively stagnant, that you're placing yourself in a position of contemplation, deep contemplation with the Star and the Priestess and the Hangman, all three. Come to think of it, it's probably the three major arcanas that are the most passive in a way. Almost like bystander, wallflower energy. Kind of, you know what I mean? So for some reason you're holding back. I have a feeling that you're part of what you're not communicating pertains to your identity because of self-discovery. Something that you don't wish to reveal, that probably because you've only newly discovered about yourself, you're only coming to terms with it yourself, let alone having to, express it or show it to others. especially if you feel that it comes from the darkest parts of you, or that it was repressed for so long. You know what I'm going to do? The way I've placed the cards, because they came out as this one first, the second one was fear. But I like to make sure that I not just give you a message, but I feel like I need to be positive about this for you, and I want to put the fears in the back. And I want to put the fears back in the cave, in the sense that, yes, you're fearing communication, but I don't want you to be communicating fear, right? So, and I don't think that that's what you're doing. I think that you are fearing communicating something about yourself. And so this really matters for me here, to place the cards correctly and create something positive for you by speaking it in this way. I don't know if you saw what happened, maybe not. Part of the deck like kind of almost fell, but I caught it. But the card on the split is the Queen of Pentacles. I just wanted to show you that. And at the bottom is the Hangman. I just thought I'd show you. I'm not going to necessarily take this into account at the moment. I'm not necessarily asking a precise question here. It's voluntary. The Emperor. In the reverse. For some reason, you have a fear of control, of being controlling, of being controlled. You're afraid of things that are very rigid. Maybe your own rigidity is in the way. It's sucking your power away from you. For some reason, I'm hearing that you need to be more, in French we say magnanime. I don't know if it translates the same, magnanimous. I don't know if it's a word in English. We have the energies of the Fool, the Moon, both in reverse with the Knight of Swords. See, excuse me. I'm going to put the Fool because, especially in the reverse, that is a fear. That is not willing to be trusting in people, in yourself, in life in general. Being afraid of taking that leap. I think I want to say that you're afraid of coming out of that cave. It's also because if you compare, right, a very mature individual has a very naive, childlike side, but maybe also very immature. And so there's a clash here. the moon is in the reverse. The moon is the priestess energy. But in this case, something is being revealed. So coming out of the cave, finally touching upon a connection. But what I'm sensing here, the star is about being somewhat removed, very impartial energy, objective. Yet the moon here speaks of emotions. And as much as I would interpret this card as revealing your emotions, in this case, it's not what I'm sensing. It's more about repressing all of these emotions in favor of being detached and somewhat in control. Part of it comes from being healed, and in the process of healing. And I do believe that, yes, you are communicating more emotions, a lot more than you used to in the past, more than you ever have. It puts you in action. But beware of your impulsivity, of being rash. Especially when you move from a position of waiting, typically relatively patient with the star card, and having feared, jumping into the unknown. So there's like pent-up energy from holding back, from fearing to come forward. But then when you do, you spring forth. You get catapulted. So yes, there's tremendous momentum here. But it could come across as difficult. But there's suddenly a plethora of messages, right? It's funny. It's like you're communicating with so much haste that it's like your words precede you. Even before you actually walk in somewhere, for instance, just to give you the sensation of the energy I'm sensing, it's like even before you walk into some place, let's say, your words I've already preceded you. And I also want to say your thoughts. What it makes me think of, the word that came up just now was projection. So this could very well be the case with the moon energy, projecting some of your emotions onto others. So you're like sort of hoping, wishing that they feel like you, but you're sort of putting on them what you feel and taking it for face value. I'm thinking about what I just said. Look at this. I'm glad I looked down at the card here, the subtext. Clarity, the sword. Timing, again, the idea that the speed here and the fact that your words are preceding you and the fact that things are critical. And I think for some reason interactivity here is almost that projection energy I'm describing. So avoiding to project your thoughts and feelings onto others, because what you really need is a dialogue, right? Versus, let's say, a monologue, a one-way street, if that makes any sense. Shortened force. There are keywords on these cards. I don't know if you can see. Sorry, it's kind of... This is the Eight of Swords, of course. I'll show you again. In the reverse. The King of Swords in the reverse. A lot of swords energy on this side. Oh, Three of Swords. And the Queen of Pentacles. We saw her before. There's a lot of thinking, overthinking, which is the position that you're in, of course, at the moment, since you have taken and you are taking this time to go very, very deep within. But we can see, right, the fear sort of, even if the card is in the reverse here, I don't think that you're necessarily getting out of your head just yet. Same kind of controlling energy here on the King of Swords in the reverse with the Emperor in the reverse. So for me here, there's a constant reminder, right? You reminding yourself constantly about the same thing over and over again, playing that record in your head and trying to get out of it, trying to get out of the loop. This energy here on the King of Swords comes through as being a little bit masochistic. Sort of, you know, like, I'm not saying this is what you do, but people that, what do you call it, cutting? Like people that, they have so much trauma and they have so much pain, emotional pain, that they inflict themselves physical pain, kind of to distract themselves momentarily from having to think about, you know, what obsesses them. It feels like this is this sort of masochistic energy, and being swords, it is like cutting yourself symbolically speaking. It's driven from the fact that you know that deep down what's surfacing is all this pain from being hurt emotionally. It doesn't have to be in love, but every emotional hurt that you've ever experienced in relationships, broadly speaking. Look how alone you felt. It reads sorrow, of course. So that's the darkness. But it's surfacing in order to be healed. The reason we have fiber, it's the same movement. It's something that's coming from the bottom going to the top. So it's surfacing within you. But it's also being, it's coming out of you because it needs to leave you. It needs to disappear. So it's being exhumed, yes, but it's also being dissolved in the process. It's being dissolved by the water of your tears. And you are here, the Queen of Pentacles. I really think this is you. The whole reading is about you. I don't think that we're looking at someone that you're going for, or you could be becoming this person. This would be you when you are whole, someone very grounded. So more of an earth element, earthy energy. It might be that you had a particular relationship that was more difficult than others. It could be pointing to who you are sad about, or if it is about a love relationship, this could be the person that you are grieving, the relationship with this person that you're grieving. So the person embodying the energies of the Queen of Pentacles. Someone you deem nourishing, caring. Practical, of course, but also that earns good money, that is able to make manifest, whatever they touch or think about, like putting into, like creating, really making concrete, tangible, anything that they apply themselves to, making it grow because it's the earth element. Kind of like a mini Empress energy. Someone that's able to create abundance. But it's also you. I think that this energy, when you are whole, when you feel yourself to be whole, complete, you become very, very steady, sturdy. which is the Four of Wands energy of creating a foundation, the number 4. Four of Wands because we're looking at, this is the portal, 1111. But someone who loves her home. But the main energy is about how, when you are whole, how you are able to create something very lasting for yourself. It feels different from the energies of your dark side, kind of, so to speak. It feels... I'm having a hard time articulating it. It feels like you're providing yourself with something that you were missing. So you're auto-nurturing yourself. And the thing that you need the most and the thing that you're tapping into is this sort of stability and the fact that you're able to create this for the rest of your life, so to speak. Like, what I'm sensing here that is difficult to, that I was having a hard time pinpointing, is the fact that you shouldn't have to be destabilized ever again, because whatever you're finding out or discovering about yourself and kind of really taking in here, it can't be, it won't waver again. You won't doubt it again. You won't have to reconsider it again. It won't come up anymore. It's like saying it'll be solved once and for all. You won't be able to undo. Not just you, nothing will be able to, it won't come undone. This is the Four of Pentacles. It's like a little bit like the idea of a treasure chest. The idea of the cave, something that is closed and dark inside, but that contains something very precious, if you want, special. Not yet accessible because closed, the lid is closed. This feels like the energy of the star here. Like having, they're both looking up, look. It's the same posture. There's deep, deep, deep hope. Within yourself. Deep hope of a brighter future. You're kind of, you have the inner knowing and you have the certainty of knowing that you will discover something amazing about yourself, that you will uncover something amazing. No, this is the star. I love this, the star under the star here. This is too beautiful. Look, that whatever's hidden is what you're hoping for, that you know is there with the High Priestess, you know. And then you finally are at one with the universe here. And even if this character seems to be walking alone, almost like a hermit, the idea is that you're always connected to the greater whole. There is a little bit the sensation, and I mentioned it here about you felt very alone, right? But there is the idea that you are detached to a degree, because this is an Aquarius. The star is the Aquarius energy. Aquarius always has within themselves the idea that they're very... It's the individual versus the universal. So there's always they kind of like go back and forth between feeling very different and almost like they don't belong. And then they also feel the oneness of and the interconnectedness of everything. And they know that they belong. But they do feel apart. They do feel different. I guess it's your ability to go back and forth. I want to say that the oneness is the light, and when you're more individualistic, it's kind of like the dark side. Not to say that one is positive, the other negative at all. That's not what I'm saying. But if this card came out, the star here, the last one, the whole reading is about something that is still relatively distant for the moment, because you're healing, because you're in a place where you are becoming whole. You're connecting to something greater. You're overcoming sorrow. You're basically dealing with an incredible amount of energies and an incredible amount of emotions, and the dark ones surfacing up. So the more difficult ones. Some of them could be felt not just as sorrow, but as anger as well. Impatience. But you're healing that. It's a beautiful reading. I love it. Let me know what you think. Thank you for listening.